Could Brock Lesnar be done with WWE? Elsewhere, we take a look at future plans for an NXT call-up to the main roster, and a new WWE announced team has been revealed. It's all in the wrestling news. Hello everyone, Jack and Fraser here with the news. The first one concerns Brock Lesnar, of course, who, although not directly named, was strongly implied to be a part of the lawsuit filed against Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and WWE itself. Brock Lesnar is not one of the people, I should point out, that the lawsuit is filed against, but he certainly seems to be the WWE superstar and former UFC heavyweight champion mentioned in the lawsuit.
There's a lot of implication towards Brock Lesnar's name being linked with it, but as you said, nothing official.
Yes. But the recent Vince McMahon allegations, of course, also named a former UFC heavyweight champion, which most people have assumed is Brock Lesnar. I can't think of anyone else that it possibly could be. No. As one of those involved in the trafficking and emotional abuse of Janelle Grant, which was followed by Lesnar being pulled from the Royal Rumble match. Reports since then have indicated that his spot was taken by Braun Breaker.
Yeah, and what a replacement that was. Like, Braun looked like a monster.
Yeah, he's great.
And sort of, I think it made it, not everyone forget about Brock Lesnar, but it didn't need Brock Lesnar in there. Yeah. Like, he filled that spot perfectly, and I don't think anyone else could have done that. Yeah,
it was really good. The only thing that I guess changed specifically from it being Lesnar was Dom eliminated Braun Breaker. If Dom had eliminated Brock, and reports have also indicated that was going to be then a future singles match, that would have been a big moment, wouldn't it? That would have been like when Maven eliminated Undertaker.
Yes.
Whereas in the case of Braun, because that's not a storyline going forwards, it kind of just happened and they moved on.
Yeah, true. I guess it's we'll see how that develops in terms of Dominic, but that would have been a big moment for Dominic. Or Tom or Nick, whichever one it was.
Either or. But now we've got to talk about what Brock Lesnar's future or lack of future in WWE is. Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio is under the impression that there's a strong chance we'll never see Lesnar in WWE again. He says, it appears that Brock Lesnar is not going to be around for a while. Some people think ever. When it comes to talent, I hate to say forever, because most of the time that's not the case, especially if someone can draw. They always seem to find a way back. But yeah, I think I agree with Meltzer here. It would be quite. There's no way he could come back without that being at the front of everyone's mind.
Absolutely, that's always going to hover around, and there will be people that no longer want to see Brock Lesnar on TV, and I think that's a valid criticism if what is in the lawsuit and how he's implicated in that all comes to fruition or is found out in pretrial. It's just a big sort of dark cloud that's hanging over it, and if Brock was in that Rumble, that would be the main talking point of it. Understandably.
It's not just fan reaction as well. You've got, just look at what happened with the Slim Jims deal. That almost got pulled, and then once Vince was released from the board, they got back involved with the Royal Rumble as a sponsor. Sponsors could be pulled from future things as well if they felt uncomfortable with it. So it wouldn't just be the fan reaction, it would also be money, which I don't want to be cynical, but maybe that's what WWE would react to more.
It's what the shareholders would possibly care a lot about. I also think it shows that they don't really need Brock Lesnar right now, because the amount of talent they've got on the roster, even if there is some current injuries, you've got those people like Braun Breaker that can instantly come in and make that change and show, well, actually, here's a young guy, he's got a big future, maybe he's the next Brock Lesnar in a sense.
Well, it's appropriate that you've said that, because our next story concerns the future plans of Braun Breaker. After his Rumble debut, he declared the main roster to be his new home. He even didn't appear in person on Raw, but was mentioned on Raw. Nick Aldis was having a bit of a standoff with Adam Pearce, who had just signed Andrade to a Raw exclusive contract, in storyline, of course. Oh, come on now, it's wrestling. But Nick Aldis got back at him by answering the phone and going, 1 second, it's a call from Braun Breaker, implying that Braun will be called up to SmackDown very, very soon. But a certain Heartbreak Kid, Fraser, has had a few words to say about that.
Yeah, on the NXT media call, he said he may feel like that this is his home, but he still has work here in NXT to do, whether he likes it or not. Our job is to lose talent. He's won on that. I'm going to have trouble letting him go. I can assure you that there's more left for Braun Breaker here at NXT, one way or another. Braun Breaker has been in NXT for a few years now, and it feels every time we get around to Mania season and Rumble, he's surely going to the main roster this year. It felt like that 2 years ago. It was like, well, he's oven ready for the main roster, and I feel like he's only just improved and improved and improved. SmackDown, what do you think of him as a SmackDown star? Do you think that fits perfectly?
I would really like it, yeah. SmackDown obviously is the smaller show, so I think it would be more there'd be, not that he would anyway, but there'd be less chance of him getting lost in the shuffle, or it would be an even more prominent position for him on SmackDown, given the slightly smaller roster and the 2-hour runtime. So I think it would be a great fit.
I feel like he feels like a natural fit for SmackDown, as you're saying, but also to take the belt off Logan Paul. I feel like taking that US title from Logan Paul would sort of solidify him as a main roster star. I'm going to give him a pretty big match at WrestleMania that Logan can bump from that spear, because it's the best spear in the business.
Yes, I would agree. Although I'm going to disagree, and I don't think that is the match at WrestleMania. Ooh. I don't know who. I've seen a lot of people speculate that it could be LA Knight to take the belt from Logan Paul.
Oh, that's a good shout.
And I feel like he might be just the person that WWE would want in the ring with Logan, whereas Braun's less experienced. But at the same time, I like your brave shout. I just don't know how that match. I don't think that needs to be a match. Have Braun squash Logan Paul.
Have Braun squash him,
that'd be a brilliant moment, yeah.
But do you think we'll see him continuing with NXT? I mean, Shawn Michaels sort of implies that he's still got some work left to do in NXT. You're a big NXT fan.
Oh, yeah.
How does that shape going forward? What's he's got left to do in NXT?
Braun and Baron Corbin are still in the Dusty Classic Tag Team Tournament. It seems as though they're going to reach the finals of Vengeance Day against Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes. They've got their own storyline going on. Carmelo's also someone who's been flirting with the main roster quite a lot and was in the Rumble, of course, as well. Was he? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, big
yes,
time.
He was.
But I think Braun's got like maybe one or two storylines left to wrap up. Maybe this one, and then maybe a closing feud with Baron if everything goes sour between the tag partners. Nothing that can't be wrapped up though in time for WrestleMania, I would say.
Feels like we're getting that little transitionary period for him right now, like we've got for Melo.
Maybe even if he doesn't have a big match at Mania itself, he would be the sort of prime person to come along on the SmackDown after WrestleMania and make a big statement. Yeah, so maybe something like that. But we'll have to keep an eye on Braun. Very exciting times for him. Over on Raw, a Raw superstar has announced that they'll be appearing on this week's SmackDown as well.
It's only the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes.
Whoa! Two-time consecutive Royal Rumble winner.
Yeah, incredible achievement from Cody
Friend
Rhodes.
of the channel as well.
Yeah, friend of the channel, definitely. He just tweeted, I'll be at SmackDown this Friday. I think Cody is going to be it right now, obviously with Punk's injury. A lot of eyes are on Cody as to which one's he going to choose. I think we know which one he's going to choose. But you've got to stretch that out, and having him on SmackDown this week makes sense. He's the biggest star WWE has right now, and you want to get him on all the shows, right? This
video package that Cody's responded to on Twitter, his tweet was in response to a video package me and Fraser think made personally by Seth Rollins.
Of course,
he's
why
got
wouldn't
on his
it be?
computer. He's done some editing. Seth Rollins tweeted a video, basically a voiceover of himself over footage of Cody winning the Rumble, saying, do you want to be a champion like the Ultimate Warrior or a champion like Ric Flair? What he's implying there is, do you want to be a superstar, the big draw going after Roman Reigns, but with little substance behind it? I think that's the implication.
I think that's,
or do you want to be a worker, Ric Flair, a workhorse, someone who's going to try and take my belt? And he's portraying himself as like, he's making it seem as though to choose Rollins for the title match would be what Cody would do, son of an NWA legend and all that sort of stuff. I reckon Cody could turn it round though and say, like the way he spins promos, he could definitely counter that and say something on SmackDown to the effect of, no, I want to be the big star.
The star and the superstar. His argument should be, why can't he be both?
Oh, he's going to do that.
Why can't he be both? Ric Flair, but Seth Rollins the other day sort of implying that he's the man. And then now linking it up with the Ric Flair thing, to be the man, you've got to beat the man. He's challenging Cody to take that mantle. I feel like we're still getting that Reigns Cody match though. We can't not.
I do as well. This almost swayed me and I thought, hang on, no. And then I thought through the lens of like, fans who aren't tuning in week after week, who only watch the big shows and only get involved around WrestleMania time, if they were to make it suddenly Cody versus Seth, that would render what they did last year with Roman beating Cody. It would be like, what's going on? It would seem really confusing. So
what
I
they should
think
do,
you're right.
have them challenge for both. Unify the belts.
Yes.
He's not had that in a while.
Hey, that's something they actually could do, but I don't
do it. Please don't do it.
What? Yeah, do it.
No, I don't want to unify the belts.
Yeah, unify all the belts. And finally, there's changes in the announce team on SmackDown as well, given the recent release of Kevin Patrick, which is very sad, obviously, and hopefully he can land on his feet somewhere. Ross was telling me he does soccer commentary in
he does
States.
MLS for Apple TV, I believe.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad that he's got work elsewhere and stuff, but it was a shame to see him go. But what does that mean for the SmackDown announce team now?
Well, we saw Pat McAfee has made his return to the WWE as part of the Raw announce team. Now, we noticed that Wade Barrett wasn't there on Monday
in my
night.
face and it smells
You're getting a bit cozy.
It smells weird.
Yeah, well, Wade Barrett wasn't there on Monday night.
No.
But it looks like he's going to be on SmackDown this week.
This is very interesting because obviously Michael Cole won't be there. He's now over on Raw.
Yeah.
On SmackDown, it looks as though they're going to have a 2-man booth for now. Corey Graves on play-by-play, and as you say, Wade Barrett as in the Corey Graves role, in the color commentator role. And we were saying upstairs, it'll be interesting to see how Corey comes across as the play-by-play guy rather than the heelish co-commentator.
Yeah, because it's not really a role that we've seen him fill, and I think it might improve the dynamics between them, because I feel like Barrett would be stronger in the color commentary rather than play-by-play, whereas Corey's got the most experience. He's going to be the lead announcer. It just makes sense to sort of, if Kevin Patrick was the lead before, to put someone like Corey Graves in there and sort of really give him that shine. I
think it might feel weird at first.
Yeah.
But once we're used to Corey talking more and being the play-by-play guy, I think he might be really good at it.
Yeah, I think he should be.
Yeah, especially because often people's opinion, the public opinion of Corey seems to fluctuate quite a lot. Yeah. Sometimes people say, as you pointed out earlier, some people can get sick of it when he's over-healing it too much. But on the other hand, if he's in the play-by-play role, I think that could really temper that. I could moderate it, and I think
he's got to focus on the action.
Yeah,
not the heels.
No, exactly, and I think he might be really, really good once we get used to it.
It's either that or both of them are going to be absolute haters on the just hate everyone in the ring, and it's going to be
state of Cody Rhodes. Yeah,
it's going to be good. Very brilliant.
Although at the Rumble as well, because Michael Cole was in the mode of, my cool friend Pat's here, and he wasn't really taking it seriously. That's the impression I got anyway. Yeah. Corey almost was the sensible one of the three, so maybe he's got some practice in early on.
There you go. Sorted.
Yes. Leave your thoughts and opinions on not just how Corey Graves is going to do in that role, but any of these stories in the comments section down below. We'll be back with more news later on today as well, and thank you very much for watching. I've been Jack, this has been Fraser, and we'll see you very soon.